We'll transition to hands and knees, tabletop. And in tabletop, splay the fingers out nice and wide. And let your sternum just kind of fall so that the humeral heads get a little bit of depth into that shoulder socket. And let's just hold that for a moment. Just kind of feel the sternum's weight just dropping in, keeping the lumbar neutral. And then start a little lateral rock. So as you're moving here, the weight's kind of moving across the finger mounds. And the wrist crease can kind of take some of the burden here. If the wrist crease feels like it's taking too much of the burden, try to push into the fingertips more. You can even kind of spider those middle knuckles up so that you take more and more of that engagement into the hands. And then we'll come back to neutral. Just curl our toes, lift our seat, and roll our way back into down dog. And then we'll come back to hands and knees tabletop. And let's slide our way back into child's pose here. As you settle back, pay a little bit more attention to your shoulders than you might normally. If you happened to be in practice yesterday, we were fairly shoulder centric in our opening. Today, I'm going to try to be a little shoulder strengthening so that we find some ways to keep both our mobility and our stability of those engines that really allow us to mobilize things in our environment. So there's this centuries-old village. And for centuries, it has been known as this centuries-old, good-natured village. The villagers have been known as good-natured, not just within their community, but the outside world as well. Let's pull ourselves forward to tabletop. And bring your right knee and your right hand to the center of the mat. And slide your left foot straight back and then ground your left heel. And just roll your way open. Little side plank, modified side plank. The goal here is, again, to feel that shoulder integration. So think about what's going on in that shoulder up on the right side. And then we'll release that left hand down. Come back to a traditional hands and knees tabletop. Curl your toes, lift your seat, and find down dog. Note any asymmetry in the shoulder girdle. And we'll come down to hands and knees tabletop. We'll do the same thing to the second side. So left knee, left hand come to midpoint. Right foot extends back, right heel grounds. Open up that right hand towards the ceiling or sky. The focus here is on the stability of that left shoulder. Remember that we do not want all of the pressure in the wrist crease, so keep those fingers and finger mounds engaged. When you feel balance left to right, let's bring the right hand back down. We'll come back to tabletop, curl our toes, lift our seat, and find down dog. Get the weight back into the hips. Walk our way forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Get that big, long, expansive neutral spine. And then release your way back into fold. The head go. Let the sacrum release here. Splay the toes out wide. Relax the feet so that you can get that depth. And then let's roll our way up vertebrae by vertebrae into mountain. Bring our hands together, heart center. Keeping that relaxation through the feet so that the toes are splayed. and slide our left foot straight back into ledge. Sweep the arms up, fully express crescent. Drop the hands and then step to the front of the mat. Sweep the arms behind you and interlace the fingers if that's possible. If not, just grab the lateral edges of the pants or shorts. And we're gonna do the same thing. So left side's gonna step back once again. Just the left foot sliding back. Now, think about fully expressing crescent, but instead of the hands lifting up, we're just imagining what the shoulders need to do to make that possible. Keep the core engaged, lumbar neutral. And then release the arms up and see if you felt that shoulder placement the way it should be. And then we'll drop the hands and step to the front of the mat. Take this to the second side. Right foot's going to slide back. Sweep the arms, fully express crescent. Think about splaying out the toes and getting the feet active in this shape. Drop the hands and we'll step to the front of the mat, sweeping the hands behind us, either interlacing or grabbing the lateral edge, and then we'll do the same thing. Right foot slides back. Setting our shape. And then imagining that we're sweeping the arms up. And as we're imagining that, we're letting the shoulders do the mechanism of lift. That really should help broaden out the sternum space. And then sweep up. Drop the hands and we'll step to the front of the mat. Nice work. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale through forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Plant your hands and we'll walk our way back into plank. All right, so gonna set a plank, gonna kind of walk through a plank, because if we don't feel comfortable in plank, we should have the knees down and we should keep the core and glutes engaged so that we have a modified plank. And so we want from the hips to the top of the shoulders to be the same, whether we're in plank or whether we're in modified plank. And then let's come down to hands and knees tabletop and sink the seat back into child's pose. Let the shoulders relax a little bit. And then we're not gonna do anything, but I'm just giving you a preview here. When we do come out of child's pose, remember that you can bring the hands back down towards the feet to help the shoulders relax a little bit more. When we do come out of child's pose, we're gonna be back in plank, and we're just gonna kind of understand how our body's feeling in that shape tonight. Really determining how much we want to modify that shape. And thinking about it, like, the goal is to get the shoulders stronger, right? And so if you're a giant NFL lineman, you might need to add 350 pounds on a bench press, right, to get stronger. But if you're me, right, you may need 30 pounds to get stronger. And so the goal is to get stronger, and we need to determine the amount of engagement required to make that possible. So when it feels appropriate, let's pull our way forward to tabletop, and then let's lift up into plank. And then just make a determination whether having the knees down, and if the knees are down, we're still the same from that hip line up to the top of the shoulders as we would be in our top space. And then lift your seat back into down dog. And if you have the knees down here, you can either transition back into down dog, or you can go into a little child's pose, right? So just think about what feels appropriate here. And then let's shift our weight forward to plank. And from plank, Let's come down onto our forearms. Again, we can do this from the knees. And then we're just gonna walk our way up into plank before we lift our seat and find down dog. Or child's pose. Let's shift forward to plank. And then we're all gonna meet in down dog before we walk our way forward to fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Let your head release here. Drift your awareness to your sacrum, and let's roll ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming into our top space. Bringing our hands together, heart center. Just breathing here into mountain. When it feels appropriate, let's slide our left foot straight back into lunge. And then we'll ground our left heel and roll our way open into warrior two. And as you set your warrior two, really make sure that that inner line, that medial line of the right foot is more or less lined up with the left big toe mound or left arch of the foot. And then turn the palms up towards the ceiling or sky. And with an inhale, let's bring the arms up and overhead so that the hands touch. And then with an exhale, roll the wrists back over and let the palms come down back into a traditional warrior two. So we'll inhale, we'll roll up, hands touch. Exhale, release out wide. One more time, we'll inhale up. And exhale out wide. Spin the left heel up, we'll come into crescent. Drop the hands and let's step to the front of the mat. Recalibrate in mountain. Find that balance, find that neutrality. When it feels appropriate, let's take this to side two. Right foot slides straight back. Ground the right heel and roll to warrior two. Check to make sure that that medial line and our back foot line up. Turn the palms up. We'll inhale up. And then exhale back out wide. Inhale up. Exhale out wide. One more time, we'll inhale up. And exhale out wide. Right heel spins up. We're back into crescent. Drop the hands and we'll step to the front of the mat. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale through forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Plant your hands. We'll walk our way back into down dog. Step forward to plank. Lift the seat into down dog. Come down to hands and knees, tabletop, flip the tops of the feet and sink your way back into child's pose once again. Landing and smoothing and breathing here. Well, this village had developed a reputation for being good-natured. The villagers themselves had started to feel a change. Significant amounts of interpersonal friction, societal friction, economic friction. The social pressures and divisiveness were palpable. And no one knew how or why things had changed. But everyone knew that things had changed. When it feels appropriate, let's pull ourselves forward to hands and knees, tabletop. From tabletop, let's lift our way back into down dog. And then let's shift our way forward to plank. From plank, bring your right forearm down to the middle of the mat, and let's see if we can turn to a little modified side plank here. So that left arm reaches up. Remember that you can do this from our modified position, and we get that ability to rotate the same, or we can do it from our traditional modified plank. Left hand comes down. Let's press our way back up into traditional plank and then lift our seat into down dog. And so just know as we work forward, when I go into plank, you have the choice to modify. And modify if that feels appropriate. And then we'll shift forward to plank. Left forearm is going to come down. Roll the feet and let the right hand reach up. We're working on shoulder stability here. So we want to be in a position where our shoulder is strong enough to be getting stronger. Right hand comes down. We'll press our way up. Lift our seat into down dog. Shift forward to plank. Lift the seat into down dog. Shift forward to plank. Lift the seat into down dog. And let's walk our way forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Sweep your way up into mountain. Exhale your hands together, heart center. Breathe here. Let's take our left foot straight back into lunge. Ground our left heel and roll to 2. Check to make sure that that medial edge and our inseam line up. And then drop your left hand to the lateral edge of your left thigh. Turn your right palm up and then reach your right palm straight up towards the ceiling. Keep that those right fingertips pointed straight up and vertical, and start to slide the left hand back. So we're not trying to round here. We're trying to extend up, create space across the shoulder girdle. And then smooth into that right quad. Keep that strength there. And then we'll tilt our way back up into warrior 2. Spin the left heel up, we'll come into crescent. Just breathe into your crescent. Drop the hands and we'll step to the front of the mat. Slow things down at the front of the mat here. Send our right foot straight back into lunge. Ground your right heel and roll to 2. Make sure that that medial line lines up where we want it to. We drop the right hand to the right thigh. Turn the left palm up. Reach the left fingertips towards the ceiling or sky. Keeping that verticality, start to slide down your right leg. Thinking about spacing out across the shoulder girdle. Very unique way to look for shoulder girdle expansion. We also pull into those lateral lines really nicely. The more space we create in the shoulder girdle. Tilt your way back up into 2. Spin to crescent. Just breathe in the crescent here. Drop the hands and you'll step to the front of the mat. Take things into your mountain. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale through forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Plant your hands. We'll walk our way back into down dog. Get that depth. Shift your way to plank. Lift your seat to down dog. Come down to hands and knees, tabletop. Flip the tops of the feet and sink your way back into child's pose. Land and soften. Think about recovering the shoulders here. Think about how you can move or breathe so that your shoulders are taken care of. One day, and no one knew why, and no one knew exactly when, but this stool appeared. Just this little tiny three-legged wooden stool. Not too dissimilar from that stool. In the center of town. And then all of a sudden there was this yogi seated on the stool. And she had with her this little tiny backpack. And from the backpack, she pulled out this like pop-up tent. It was like this, like a booth that you would see a fortune teller offering fortunes from within. And she set it up around the stool, and then she went inside. When it feels appropriate, as it feels appropriate, pull ourselves forward to hands and knees tabletop. From hands and knees tabletop. Curl your toes, lift your seat, find down dog. Get that depth first, and then shift your weight forward to plank. And then bring your right hand to the middle of the mat. And let's roll to a side plank here. And take that left hand and either extend it up, or you can put it on your hip. Keep the strength in that shoulder, the right shoulder. Left hand comes back down to the mat. Right hand comes back to its side of the mat. Lift the seat into down dog. Shift your weight forward to plank. Bring the left hand to the middle of the mat. Roll to the lateral edge of the left foot, medial edge of the right foot, and take that right hand up into a little side plank. Remember that you can modify this. Right hand comes down, left hand to its side of the mat. Lift your seat into down dog. Shift your weight forward to plank. Lift your seat back into down dog. Shift your weight forward to plank. And lift your seat back into down dog. Make sure you get the depth here. Drive into the hips. And then let's walk our way forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Flat, neutral spine, long back. Exhale back into your fold. Drift your awareness to your sacrum. We'll sweep our way up. Drop the hands to heart center and sink the seat back in a chair. Keep the neutral torso alignment, good core engagement, flat neutral spine. You can extend the arms if you want, but hands at heart center is perfect. We're looking to get that hip glute engagement turned on. And then we'll rise back up into mountain and breathe and slow things down here. When you feel ready, let's slide our right foot straight back into lunge. So we get that length and that depth, sweep the arms up and overhead, and then just float the hands down to the mat. Think about the strength that your right hand has underneath your shoulder and take your left hand up into a twist. We want that lumbar rotation. We want to get into that left quad so that we can fully express and so that the right hand can provide stability. Left hand comes back down to the mat. Step your right foot forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Sweep your way up into mountain. Drop the hands to heart center. And as they drop, sink the seat back into chair. Again, you can extend the arms if that feels appropriate, but we're wanting to get the hips and glutes active here. That's the goal. If you want the shoulders to be involved, lovely. But you can also give the shoulders a break here. We'll rise back up and relax and breathe once again. When it feels appropriate, we'll slide our left foot straight back into lunge, sweep the arms to crescent, and then drop the hands to the mat. The left hand here is providing some stability. The right hand's reaching up into the twist. We want to get into that right quad, and we want to feel the lumbar rotation. Left hand is active here. We're using that to provide balance and stability. When you feel balance left to right, right hand comes down, step the left foot forward into fold, inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Sweep your way up. Drop the hands to heart center and sink back into chair. Good torso engagement here. Core's engaged, lumbar's neutral. Rise and sweep into forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Plant your hands. We'll walk our way back to down dog. Shift forward to plank. Keep that core squeeze, that glute squeeze. Keep the fingers active. Lift the seat into down dog. Shift forward to plank. Hold this while you breathe and feel the shoulder strength developing. Come down to hands and knees tabletop, flip the tops of the feet and sink back into child's pose. And so as this little booth sets up, as this traveling yogi, she disappears into this kind of dark curtain area, word starts to spread through town that a good omen has arrived. A yogi, a wise woman, someone who can help them overcome this societal tension, someone who can answer their questions, someone who will provide guidance. And so it doesn't take long before somebody pops their head in, sees the yogi as she's seated on this stool. They come in and they sit in front of her. And they ask a question. And this very first person that gets in, they ask a question about the friction in the economic conditions, when that's going to change, when their families can feel safe again. And the yogi just looks at this person
right in the eyes, direct eye contact for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This person is sitting there and they're on the edge of their seat, just waiting to hear what profound thing is going to eventually come out. 5 minutes, nothing. After 10 minutes, this person gets up and they excuse themselves. The yogi says nothing, makes no emotion, makes no movement, and they leave the tent. When it feels appropriate, as it feels appropriate for you, let's pull ourselves forward to hands and knees, tabletop. From tabletop, we'll curl our toes, lift our seat, and find our way into down dog. From down dog, let's shift our weight forward to plank. Lift our seat into down dog, and then walk our way forward into fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Sweep your way up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Let the shoulder girdle relax. Let your breath kind of come back to that homeostasis point. Just be at ease. When it feels appropriate for you, let's slide our right foot straight back into lunge. Sweep the arms to fully express crescent. Plant the hands on the mat. As the hand plant, roll to the lateral edge of your right foot, and we're going to bring the strength into that right hand. Slide our left foot back, and we're in a little side plank. The transition we haven't done in a very, very long time. And we want to make sure we're developing that strength in that right shoulder. Remember that you can drop that right knee to do this from a modified position. Left hand's eventually going to come down. Lift the seat into down dog. And then we'll step our left foot back into three-legged dog. And we'll step the left foot forward into lunge and sweep our way into crescent. Drop the hands and step to the front of the mat. Nice work. Finding our way back into mountain. Yeah, beautiful work. Cycling through your breath here. When you feel ready, when it feels appropriate, our left foot's going to slide back. Sweep the arms to crescent. Slip the hands down to the mat. Get that hand planting, good strong base. Roll the lateral edge of the left foot. Roll that right foot back as you take the right hand into your side plank. Remember, the left knee can drop. We're developing stability and we want to focus on that. Not focus on, oh, I'm struggling to stay up. When you feel balance left to right, right hand comes down, lift the seat into down dog. Right foot extends straight back and behind you. And we'll step the right foot forward into lunge. Sweep your way to crescent. Breathe here. Drop your hands to heart center and then step to the front of the mat. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale through forward fold. Inhale into half lift. Exhale back into fold. Let your head go here. Relax into this fold. Breathe into this fold. Think about how you can allow this fold to be more depthful. One more time, let's inhale into lift. And then exhale back into fold.
Plant your hands. We'll walk our way back into down dog. Shift our way forward to plank. Lift our seat into down dog. Shift our way forward to plank. Lift our seat into down dog. Shift our way forward to plank. The hands and knees tabletop. Flip the tops of the feet and sink your way back into child's pose. And so after 10 minutes in this tent, this person leaves. And when they get outside, they're hit with this bright light. The sun is shining. And there's a huge crowd that's gathered around this yogi now. And people start like barking questions about, what did she tell you? What did you ask her? And coming out of this incredibly dark space with just one little candle, and then into this bright sunshine in the middle of the day, and then having people shout at you is just overwhelming. And this person just kind of says, she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. They're kind of like blocking the sun out and they just disappear into the crowd. And this like sets the crowd into a frenzy. Because whatever she said, it must be incredibly important. It must be incredibly valuable. Why would someone go in there for 10 minutes and then not say anything that she said? And so there's like a stampede to be the next person in. When it feels appropriate, let's pull ourselves to tabletop and we'll extend our legs out in front of us into a little staff. As the legs extend forward, let's just follow them into a fold. Just allowing your body to release here. Being really delicate with your breath, at ease with those cycles. Let's give ourselves 60 more seconds here. A little bit of an extended duration. And when it feels appropriate for you, let's walk our way back up into staff and then lower our spine onto the mat. For the first time in this practice, nice little opportunity to just feel into what we've done, what we've shifted. Let your arms fall to wherever feels the most impactful, by your side or in cactus or at T. Same thing with the legs. Knees can be bent, legs can be extended, bottoms of the feet can be together, whatever feels the most impactful for you. We'll give ourselves just 30 more seconds here, just feeling into what we've done thus far in practice. And it feels appropriate for you. Let's bring our knees into a bed position. Kneecaps point towards the ceiling, and we'll start a little lateral sway. Just a little rotation of the lumbar spine. So somebody's able to rush to the front of the line, and he pops into the tent. He sits down in front of this yogi as she's seated on this stool. Her eyes are open. And he asks about the weather. The climate's been changing. It's been getting hotter. They've been getting less water. That's causing tension in the community. And he asks when that shift is going to go back. Then he waits patiently. And this old yogi, she's seated on this stool. She just stares into his eyes. She doesn't make any gestures. She doesn't change her expression. Next time the knees come to neutral, let's let them pause there. We'll let the bottoms of the feet come together and the knees fall out. Minute passes. Yogi doesn't say anything. 2 minutes pass. And he starts to look and just to make sure she's breathing. Sees that she is. He asks the question again. Her expression doesn't change. 5 minutes pass. Her expression hasn't changed. He asks the question again. About 10 minutes later, he gets up and he walks out. And he exits this dark little tent and he's hit by this bright sunlight. And there's a crowd and they're all shouting questions at him. What did she say? What did she tell you? And again, he's kind of like trying to block out the light and he's disoriented and he mumbles something about she didn't say anything. And then he just kind of pushes his way into the crowd and disappears. And again, the crowd just roaring with anticipation. Whatever this woman is sharing, the people that are receiving the message are not willing to share it with others. Somebody rushes in. Think about how this external rotation of your hips is complementary to the work we've done on the shoulders. When it feels appropriate for you, let's bring our knees back together. And let your knees fall over to the right side. And then inhale the knees to neutral. And exhale the knees over to the left side. Inhale to neutral. And exhale to the right. Inhale to neutral. Exhale to the left. Inhale to neutral. Exhale to the right. Inhale to neutral. Exhale to the left. Bring your knees back to neutral and pull the thighs in towards the torso. Give yourself a nice little squeeze here. When it feels appropriate, let's let the feet come back down to the mat. And just start to ask yourself if your body might need anything, might want anything, might benefit from anything prior to Shavasana. And if it would, offer that to yourself now. If you have everything you need, if you're ready to just drift into some stillness, let's allow that to be true. Just allow your body to find what it needs, what it will most benefit from, what it will be most impactful. And so this process repeats itself time and time again. Someone goes into this yogi's little tent structure. They ask a question. The yogi says nothing. After a certain amount of time, people get frustrated. They get up and they leave. And then the people outside who haven't been in to see the yogi yet assume that they've been told some amazing piece of information that they're unwilling to share. This just keeps happening. We're ready for stillness.
So day after day, people would show up. Crowds would gather around this tent. As soon as she opened the door, someone would pop in, would ask questions. She'd never answer. They'd leave frustrated. The crowds wouldn't believe. But she didn't say anything. Day after day, person after person. But something did start to change in this little village. The people around this little tent started to change. People would start to sit quietly. Some people started to weep. Not out of frustration or sadness, just a moment. And then one day they showed up. The tent was gone, the stool was gone, and this yogi, she was also gone. And in her place, there was this stone. It's a little carving in it. Carving said, "I never came to teach. I came to be still, so that you all might find what never stops speaking." We'll start to bring a little movement into our fingers and our toes. Into your wrists and your ankles. Into your elbows and your knees. Your shoulders, your hips, your neck, your head, your jaw, your eyes, your tongue. Eventually, the entirety of your body will leave. And we'll utilize that movement to transition way back into a seat. And this little village had softened. And found their answers. When it feels appropriate for you, let's let our eyes close. We'll bring our hands together, heart center. Over the course of the next 7 days, can you remind yourself that the deepest answers can only come when you no longer need someone else to say them? and see how that impacts their experience. Thank you so much for being a part of this evening's practice, for being you. Namaste. Good Monday, guys. Appreciate so many of you showing up to take care of yourself. Love the heck out of you. Have a beautiful week. I'll be back on Sunday to recharge. If you have any feedback at all about a new setup, feel free to let me know. Love you. See you soon. Mwah.